Okay. Okay. Better. Did you hear from having another string? Or no?
On his laptop.
No.
The link to see. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. Our collaboration, please. We will be contacting him to see him and now question. That be okay?
Based on the
It's the title launch presentation and the festivals.
There's no camera, there's a presentation, this is a voice.
just
So- Stop my video.
Launch.
just stop sharing. Yeah? So we'll all just
Okay, okay. You can meet back. Come in.
no, okay.
Okay. And then. Okay, let me tell you what that.
There we go. What time are we starting?
What's the start?
We need to load. We really need to load before. There we go.
Good.
Yeah, and then are you still sharing?
No.
Are you on the here? Are you on? Yeah. Yes, we do have, but like on and off. Oh, okay. But it is.
Maybe they'll come over.
Nice.
Yes, we love this.
Okay, we are currently sharing so the room. That's the one that's currently showing on now. That's not the problem.
Which one?
Why you can't put that?
So
5,323.
We actually controlling it from there. But
Yeah, you can.
so what you need to do is we publish. I'll follow the presentation. Now, when does she go on? When she go on? Yeah. There you go. You know, so this is my first one, eh?
Hmm?
This is my
Yeah,
first.
that's the next step. It's a second time.
That's one hour. I'll see. Anyone works now. When the project's been announced. Yeah, but it's not. I don't know. And when the people say
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I don't have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it's also though. That's how we did it about selling first. No, but what internet they use? This internet have a VPN. Doesn't have a VPN. That's the problem. So basically, you need to be on you need to be on that.
So I'm the I'm promoting myself. Hey. Yeah. So something looking for on the
Yeah.
Well, it's only two that we've been given. That's not.
They speak of the same pics, I think. There's two pics in the question. Okay. So, and you don't want to look up to the problem. So that's how we, yeah, I know you. That's the other way we're supposed to go.
Oh, sharing.
No. What?
Use this for camera.
Beginning.
I would say use this as a camera.
Then you highlight them, then you spotlight them.
One so they can't find it.
So it's normal for getting the room.
When I could be you want to hold him in? No. Right?
So this program is meant to bridge that gap. And then this is the start of it. I think it has already started somewhere. There's no way that it has not started or already started, but this is the launch of that program. As we go through the day, we'll introduce different people from the university itself and other speakers from, example, the Department of Health. We cannot do anything without the Department of Health because they are the key people in this project. We also have the people who kind of design the technology to bridge the gap here. They will give us a few words. And then we also have the partners, the Mozambique partners, from the Swahili, partners from the Swahili, as well as partners from Norway and Greece. So I will leave it there and start and introduce first the DVC of this College of Health Sciences at KZN. It's Professor Bosisi Wenyama. She will give us a brief talk on just as a support tool on this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nico-san. Good morning, colleagues, and good morning. Thank you so much for inviting me, Professor Salushni, members of the executive management, our collaborators from the 9 countries. I believe the 9 countries are all represented. It would have been good for you to just ask each country to raise its hand, but then we can do that afterwards when you can see who is coming from where. But a warm welcome to all of them. A warm welcome to our staff, especially the investigators in the project, Professor Lushni, Jafta, the whole team. Distinguished guests, our staff and students, alumni, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome all of you. As it has been said, my name is Bosisi Wenyama. I'm the DVC of the College of Health Sciences. And the College of Health Sciences is made up of 4 schools, but also may not be familiar with the arrangement of our university, and specifically our college. So the 4 schools, we've got the School of Laboratory Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. In that school, that's where all the lab work happens and the training of the first years of the medical students happens. Then we've got the School of Clinical Medicine, which focuses on the School of immunological training. They are based down in the medical school down there. Then we've got the school which has got 2 arms to it, a School of Public Health and then the nursing, they are based here. We've got another 4th school which is based in Westland, which is another campus about 9 km from here in Westland. So there we train all the other health professionals besides doctors and nurses. So these ones are just close by. And the other one is there. So then we train pharmacists, we train occupational therapists, physios, dental therapists, everybody else. Like I said, the easy way to remember it is that doctors and nurses are trained this side and you'll find them next side there in Western. So like I was saying, I was trying to explain how it is arranged, and that's why we are here. This work is happening in public health, which has really been leading quite a number of projects in the area of cervical cancer. And so I believe they are building on the work that they've done previously, and we think they are growing in this area of work. I also bring you warm greetings from the Vice Chancellor. So the Vice Chancellor couldn't be here. The Vice Chancellor of the university is Professor Nana Poku. He is headquartered at Westfield, the other campus that I talked about, but he couldn't be here, and he asked that I come and welcome all of you on behalf of the university. I understand that this work today is the launch of the dual screening by spectral artificial visual examination for female genital schistosomiasis and cervical cancer. a digital new low-cost and simple screening project, which will also involve training. So we are really very pleased to be part of this work as a university, a college, and the School of Public Health and Nursing. We are happy also that the European Union Horizons is funding the study, and we are happy that it involves more countries, and it's a collaboration between the South and the North, which is very important. And I think for the University of KwaZulu-Natal, whose sole aim is to uplift communities that are really struggling. So we see ourselves as a premier University of African Scholarship. Our focus in KZN has been a lot in all those ignored conditions, those ignored communities. And we really see this fitting very well with what we are doing as a university. The project will be based in 3 Southern African countries, South Africa, Eswatini, and Mozambique. An interdisciplinary team, which is another thing that we as a university, as the entire college, are trying to drive, interdisciplinarity, because we realize that problems will not be solved by people in one discipline. You need to bring in a range of stakeholders. You also need to bring in social scientists who can tell you whether these interventions that you are proposing are going to work on the ground, because they may work in the lab, they may work in clinics, but when you try to roll them out, it becomes very difficult for them to work. A special welcome to our partners, our major partners, the Department of Health. I see that they are also here. We have had a very good collaboration over the years with the Department of Health, and we are always pleased to meet in such settings. It will also bring across, together local clinicians, nurses, and doctors who will be trained. Because for us as a university, training is a key component. I think that's what we're all about. Besides knowledge production, we are also about knowledge dissemination. So we are very happy that this important aspect is also taken care of. They will be trained to use the tool. They will also be we will also strengthen the health services in all of that. In addition, the project presents an opportunity for us to train masters and doctoral students, which is another key component. We are also happy that the clinical trial will be conducted in the countries, and there will be a focus in epidemiology and gynecological investigations of women. I think most of you would already understand that KZN is a province which is not very rich, of course, like the Western Cape and others, and the women are very exposed. We've got a high HIV and then also the high cervical cancer. So it all goes together. We hope that the diagnostic tool that will be developed and produced will work. And we believe that with lessons that we've learned from the COVID-19 pandemic, we are in the right place. You may have heard about how the university and the medical school led in COVID-19 identification of Omicron. So we've got the resources to deal with this project. And we hope that the e-learning course will also be designed and tested. We believe that the equipment, consultations, and training will be adapted to practical realities. We do have problems. I think I have to be upfront, but we, as a university, we are working hard to combat this. We've got unstable electricity load shedding, which is a country problem. So we've come up with ways on how to adjust around this. We've got stable internet and the cultural considerations. We are known for that. We've got the indigenous knowledge systems units. So we know how to adapt. We've done a lot of work before in HIV, recently COVID and other work. So this is a trust to promote health for women, clinical research and digitalization for vulnerable populations. And clinicians and interdisciplinary scientists will receive training in the FGS research methodology, and they will be evaluated for its impact with the opportunities for training of PhDs and masters. And we are working across 3 countries, as we have said, in Africa. And we are really very hopeful that this will inspire many students, not just in our college, but will create more opportunities for further collaboration. With UKZN's mission being to transform the space into a people-centered, underpinned by principles of universal health coverage, social justice, impact and relevance locally while being international competitive. We think this fits in very well with what we are doing. So it really is my pleasure once again to hand back to Mr. Nkosana Jafta and welcome all of you to KZN. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. I think you gave a really good picture of why we are here. And also, I think the issue of that the university is prepared to give you support on the resources that are available to the university to see the program. So that those are good news. And for sure, the power outages that we are experiencing, for sure, they are a challenge, but hopefully they want them to make much dent on the work that this project can be going to roll out into the communities. On the next point, we are going to call Prof. Anna Voshe. She's the head and the head of school and the dean of this particular school, School of Nursing and Public Health. Will also give a message of support. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Nkosana, and good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to our university, welcome to our schools. Welcome to the principal investigators, to the collaborators, to the researchers, the managers, the administrators, the partners, WHO and DOH, and visitors. I think people have just heard about today and they decided it's interesting, I'm coming. So I want to be part of it. So you're all welcome. We are very excited at this initiative as the School of Nursing and Public Health. One of our key concerns is health system strengthening. And towards a health system that is responsible, that is able to provide relevant health care, that is person-centered, acceptable, accessible, equity distributed, and of quality. And the imperative for health system strengthening, I think, is even greater in the response to female genital schistosomiasis and cervical cancer, where gender, poverty, and rurality intersect, causing acute infection and long-term sexual and reproductive health harm to women and girls, further marginalizing those who are already marginalized. Therefore, I see this project, the Dual Save project, as an important health system strengthening initiative. It deals with 3 of the health system strengthening building blocks proposed by the World Health Organization: health service delivery, health workforce, and appropriate technology. And I'm particularly excited that it also, for me, represents a human rights initiative. So not just a health system strengthening, but a human rights initiative. Because it is addressing a neglected gendered disease and gendered sexual and reproductive health issue. So as a school, we look forward to the research findings that will emerge from this multidisciplinary, multinational, multi-site research project regarding the point of care diagnostic tool, regarding the uptake of the digital technology by the health workforce, and the effect on the health workforce competency and feelings of empowerment, because I think often the health workforce is disempowered by the working conditions that they find themselves in, and anything that improves their capacity to render a service, I think, is empowering. And that will impact on the quality of women and girls, a quality of life of women and girls. So I'm hoping that the research findings will indeed cover not just the laboratory and the technical aspects, but also the social science aspects. As Prof. Nam has mentioned, we are excited at the multinational, multi-site, multidisciplinary initiative. And we wish you well. I don't want to say much more than that. We just really wish you well. We congratulate you. We wish you a measure of good luck, in addition to all the scientific knowledge that you need to bring to the project. And we will offer you all the support that we need to make the project a success. So welcome and go well. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Moshe. Yeah, I think the issue of human rights is central to that, and I'm glad that you mentioned that to provide health services to people is not just a question of you doing your job; it's also they also have the rights to the service. Our next speaker is Dr. Siti Tshwane. She is the head of ONG. I'm not sure whether people know what that means, but everyone knows the ONG department of ONG. She's the head of Chicks and Gynecology. She's also part of this program. She will talk to the overall view of the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sana, and good morning to all of us this morning, and welcome to all our visitors. We appreciate your presence here, the support. I'm here just to orientate everyone so that we all sing from the same page. As mentioned, I'm head of gynecology at the medical school, and this topic being on female genital schistosomiasis. So we count ourselves very privileged as gynecologists to be able and allowed by women to get into that area that is very privileged. Yeah, so female genital schistosomiasis, we call it FGS today, and in Zulu it's called Iscelele. In normal layman terms, it's called bilharzia. And here we're talking about the lesion that is in the genitalia of the woman. It's one of those neglected tropical diseases, particularly in the in sub-Saharan Africa. And we know that quite a lot of African girls, and this project in itself has spearheaded a lot of that work among the young women in our province, really looking at the prevalence as well as the extent of the disease and what impact it has in our women. We, in the process of this project, have found that there's also a existence with the problems of cervical cancer, as well as predisposition towards HIV. And all of this has come out of the work of this consortium. It is a poverty-related disease. It's driven by water exposure, particularly river water. And either young girls, as they grow, crossing the river, as you know, a lot of our young girls cross rivers to go to school, to do their washing clothes and themselves and all of that. So all forms of contaminated water. I'm not sure why it has done that to itself. I didn't press anything. Or maybe it's time. It wasn't having kind of that I must not stay too long on one side. You never know people there, this. I didn't touch anything. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, as we were mentioning, the exposure really comes from contaminated water, and women then present with these lesions. The symptoms are very much similar to those of an STI. The discharge is offensive. Sometimes it's bloody, and because there's a lesion in the genitalia, it can also have contact bleeding post-coitus, just very much like, carcinoma of the cervix, if not STI. So already the women will present to a gynecologist or a nurse who works in women's health. And often it is misdiagnosed. There are very few people out there that are able to actually pick it up. If we're treating symptoms, and we're all familiar that in our health sector, we've got what is called the syndromic management of an STI. So readily a woman who comes with a discharge, blah, 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 will be given STI treatment, syndromic management. And unless somebody actually passes a speculum and looks under with a colposcope, we are very much likely to miss, and hence this project. Now we can move. Am I on the right side? With this one. Okay. So this group, as mentioned, has done quite a lot of work in the south, in the Ubud district, as well as in Ilembe at some point. We have a center called Bright Center in Shelly Beach, and has worked quite a lot. And in the past, we've met here in the university, different stakeholders. Mozambique was there, and I think Zimbabwe, to come up with pictures that can go into the atlas and develop female genital schistosomiasis atlas. It is available, and copies are here if you want one, endorsed by the WHO. So there's been quite a lot of work that has already gone in. So these are the different collaborators and a number of that Prof. Nama, my boss, I didn't upload it properly, just now I get an increase. And also we recognize Dr. Mapua from the National Department of Health. Welcome, Dr. Mapua. Without, we can't work in any health facility without being endorsed by them. So these are the different collaborators. You can see in UKZN, that's us there. And there's locally as well, DUT. I don't know if she reported to come late. Or be delayed, the National Department of Health, and also those who are directly involved at the Bright Center, the one I alluded to. The main sponsor really, and Irun comes, our PPI principal, comes from Oslo University together with a team of people and all the other universities, and the support from the local office of the WHO. And I think different people will give their input through the course of this meeting. The project itself has got governance structures. We've got two external advisory boards, one made up of the Oslo and Canadian external people, and also another one academic and also industry. So the steering committee meets regularly as well, and then there's different project coordinators. So just exactly what do we hope to achieve? As we mentioned, the science is there to show that there is a significant problem that needs to be addressed. We are familiar with a colposcope, which is just like a magnifying microscope that looks, so basically you pass a speculum and then you shine it in and you can look under magnification. That's a normal colposcope, but the one that the team is hoping to develop is called a multispectral one, where it's got different lightings and ability to pick up under the surface, which is not a normal really colposcope with some infrared capabilities. So in addition to developing a tool that somebody can hold, is also to go with the AI and develop a digital training software that almost can be carried into a cell phone book and take a picture. And through AI, you can be able to translate the pictures into whether or not there is existence of the schistosoma eggs or the changes that the eggs from the worm have caused in the genitalia. So basically, it's a combination of a handheld device that has got the ability to be able to interpret. And this team has developed a number of pictures that already exist, some of which are in the atlas, that will be able to inform what really goes into the AI and what are the health workers expected to interpret together with the software assistance. So together with that, apart from just the tool, the AI, this team also hopes to develop algorithms of clinical care, good clinical practices where we will be able to inform the health workers how to manage a patient and how to further refer those type of patients. Prof. Nama has also alluded to the fact that the team, the project also has ability to train scientists, master's and PhD level type of students. There's a large component of work inside the project itself in different countries to develop scientists. who will be able to, develop themselves and grow. So there's the academic component of this project. And also the socio-cultural part, where we are able to find out how then to interrupt the cycle of problems that is caused by the disease in poverty-ridden areas. So basically, that's the overall of the picture, or the overall picture of the project, quite multifaceted and interdisciplinary and multinational. So we're quite excited about it. And thank you so much for your attendance. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Sidi. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting thing. The technology really moved us. We used to, if you want a heartbeat, you used to have to go to a health facility. Now every watch that everyone is wearing this, but you pick up the heartbeat, which is interesting. It's good that this project is moving more. We use that technology in a good way, that you don't, if they are cell phones, use them and you try them and use them effectively to help and address problems in the health sector. The next speaker we're going to talk that we're going to call is Prof. Saloshni Naidu. She's the lead PI in this project. She's also she used to be my boss before she moved. So she will talk. She's the lead PI. She will talk to the project itself in terms of South African component. Then.
So, good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here. Acknowledging my two line managers, Dr. Tama and Papote. Thank you very much for joining us. So, just in summary, based on what Sivan has mentioned, when we look at this project, the first part is we're going to look at a trial, or we're going to work toward doing a trial with cervical cancer using and diagnosis using a pre-cancer diagnostic tool for FGS. There are other aspects, which is the e-learning. We intend listening to, not just doing it ourselves, but listening to what our health authorities, our gynecologists, our nurses at the core base, and what Department of Health also sees as feasible as we develop this project. And then to train at least about 100 early career researchers. So for us, that is about leaving a footprint in Southern Africa, not just in South Africa, but in Southern Africa, when we want to build capacity. We not about just speaking about doing it, but we truly believe in Africa doing it for itself and Southern Africa doing it for themselves. So while I welcome the collaboration and I am very happy to have all our partners from the North, we do have an intention, a very firm intention here in terms of how we're going to develop our early career researchers. And then we're going to also explore and see whether this